Episode of the Frisco Report. We're going to break down the Cowboys 53-man roster. This is serious. You know how we do it here. Cowboy time, full effect. Guys, so it's been a long journey. We finally made it this far, and 53-man roster has been announced. It is fluid, okay, which means that there's a lot more changes to go. So this is basically a soft 53, you could say, but a lot of the work is done. Mike. How are you feeling about this 53, Mike, before we get down to it?
This initial 53 is definitely a rough draft of what's going to be playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, all right? This is the Cowboys 53 rough draft. Obviously, it's not final. There's still some pieces to move around, Joe. Maybe we'll talk about those puzzle pieces fitting where they need to be to make this a Super Bowl winning roster.
Yeah, that's a great point. You know, what will the real 53 look like? But we're going to get into some of the clues here that the Cowboys have done here today, and we're going to break it down. You know, we're going to break down the news here, and we're going to go by the official list here from DallasCowboys.com to break it down. We'll break it down by position and where we might see some changes, Mike. So let's get down to the first one here. Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, they make the team. Obviously, it was announced that Gilbert was waived. He didn't make the cut. So is this where you feel the Cowboys will stick with this, or do you think there'll be a change here with that number 2 quarterback?
There could be a change here, Joe, because Cooper didn't catch on until 2 weeks ago and earned Cooper Rush and didn't earn that starting position against these Jags up until 2 weeks ago, right? So I don't think the Cowboys are comfortable there, but Garrett Gilbert, there was no progression. I was a little bummed out on that. I wanted him to win that backup spot. He's waived today, potential practice squad candidate, right? So lots of moving pieces. I think Cooper Rush can be replaced when it's all said and done, Joe. But he might luck out and stay. Who knows?
Yeah, so the big name that hit the market was, in fact, Cam Newton, right? So this is the one that's been all over the place, you know. So a lot of the intrigue from the NFL, not only the Cowboys cuts, but also what's going on around the NFL. So a couple of interesting cuts here and there. And, Cam Newton available. Some people want him, some people don't. Guys in the chat box, do you want them to take a look at Cam Newton over Cooper Rush? Let me know in the comments. Mike, what's your take on that?
I vote no for Cam Newton. I know there are some YouTubers that cover the Cowboys that want him, and there's some that don't want him. I'm on the don't want him. He's not vaccinated. He's gonna have to learn this thing. If Dak goes down early, he had Bill Belichick, 6-time Super Bowl champion over there, and they had a losing record the first time in 2 decades. Cam Newton brought that to them, right? The only thing they lost was really a wide receiver and Tom Brady, and they went 7-8, losing record in 2 decades. I don't want Cam Newton on this football team. He's going to be a distraction all day long. There's been a lot of talk that he's a locker room guy. If he was a locker room guy, he would be there to mentor Mac Jones, and the Patriots said, nah, we'll let you go on your merry way. If he can't be a backup player in the National Football League, he's a selfish player, and we don't need that stuff in our locker room, Joe.
Yeah, so my take on that, kind of in line with what you're talking about there, Mike, as well. As far as like it's the name is out there, but as far as like on the field, he's a little bit washed. You know what I'm saying? Like the stats kind of back that up from last season, and that sort of thing. So, you know, would I be mad if they took him? I wouldn't be mad at it, but I wouldn't expect a Super Bowl run. And hopefully, you know, at the end of the day, the Cowboys don't have to rely on a backup quarterback, or you know, we're in serious trouble. Let's get to the next group here, Mike, and there's the running backs. Cowboys went with 2. The Cowboys have gone with two running backs several times over the last couple years, so this doesn't really surprise me. Rico Dowdle went out with the leg injury. He's on IR, so I thought maybe he had a good chance of being that third running back, but they're going with 2 here, Mike. So they're not even carrying a fullback, Ralston. Hopefully getting him on the practice squad. We'll get to that a little bit later. But how do you feel about the running backs here, Mike? 2 running backs.
I feel good about it. They've done this under Jason Garrett, so this might be a Gallimore sprinkle a Kellen Moore decision here to keep two running backs, no fullback. Um, he got cut. Ralston, potential practice squad guy, right? Uh, Maybe this is a little Kellen Moore, thing going on here. Uh, Tight ends, that's going to play a part in this running back thing too. I really feel they're going to add a running back somewhere. Just waiting on waiver wire. That takes 24 hours to clear. We'll see if the Cowboys pick up anybody on the waiver wire. But I have a feeling they're going to have a running back on the waiver wire, Joe.
Yeah, and that's why this roster stays fluid. So they could add another one, and with all these possible changes, there will be some guys that did make it, but won't actually be on there. So, and we'll get into that as we get through some of these other position groups. And speaking of that, here we go. We're talking about the wide receivers. So right now, as it stands today, Amari Cooper, Gallup, Cedric Wilson, Malik Turner, Simi Fehoko. All right. So Noah Brown, as I say here, David Hellman does a good job breaking this down. CeeDee Lamb and Noah Brown still on the team, but they're in that reserve COVID-19 list. All right. Now, however, once they're off that list, they gotta get two. They gotta make two changes here. You know what I mean? So, would it be who do you trade out? You know what I mean? Obviously, CD is gonna get in here. So Malik maybe probably and Simi Fehoko if they want to trade for Noah Brown. So, what's your take here on the wide receivers here, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you go as that running back said. I'm 1 for 1. I think they're going to go 2 for 2. Two wide receivers for two wide receivers when they get back from COVID, Joe. I think Noah Brown is better than Malik Turner health-wise, right? And NFL veteran experience. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb, so he trumps out both these guys. Noah Brown wins over Malik Turner and Simi Fehoko for me, Joe. So I think it's 2 for 2.
Yeah, I think that's true as well. I agree. Malik Turner, it looks like that he will go to IR to rehab that turf toe, that Hellman mentions there. So he won't be back, not even on short term. So Simi Fehoko, yeah, practice squad guy probably. I just did not see enough from him. He really didn't pop off in the preseason for me.
And a great point there because we knew when we drafted him he was a raw wide receiver and he had a lot to learn. He makes 2 good plays in practice in Cowboy Nation's like, oh my God, he has to be on our 53. We know he's a raw guy. He has to learn some things, guys. Calm down. Quit crowning too soon.
Yeah, and it'll be good to get him on the practice squad to get that, to develop him. That's what the practice squad is here anyway. So that would be a good one. Now, if they did want to go 6 deep, that's also an option. Maybe they do want to keep him.
And
So
you go light somewhere else.
yeah, so that might be an option. Tight ends, Mike. We got Jarwin, Schultz. They'll be there. Sean McEwen, however, will likely go to IR to rehab that high ankle sprain. So you're probably going to subtract him. All right. They didn't keep Sprinkle. We talk about Ralston. Would that be somewhere that you switch in here? They might even bring in Sprinkle to backfill this, or they might backfill and add Ralston to be kind of that halfback, fullback type of tight end, hybrid type of player because we know we can catch out of the backfield. So, Mike, I think this will be an interesting position here. I think it'll be between Sprinkle and Ralston, in my opinion. What's your take on the tight ends, Mike?
Absolutely. I don't think Ralston can contribute to the team as much as a tight end can. Carrying 2 tight ends isn't a good thing for an offense. So I have a feeling they're going to go 3 tight ends. Sprinkle is the smartest one there. He was on my 53-man roster, what we did last week. So I expect Sprinkle to still be there, Joe.
Yeah, definitely could happen there. Offensive line, this is another interesting group here. The obvious guys, Tyron, Biadasz, Martin Collins, Ty and Secchi. However, I don't care for this one here. Terrence Steele, we knew he was going to make it. They love him. McGovern, Brandon Knight, Josh Ball, and Matt Farniak, I think is kind of where you might see some movement. And there might be movement because Connor Williams, he's still in the COVID protocol. But once he comes back, they got to make a move here probably. So it's going to be another one of these trade in, trade out. So if it were me, Mike, I would trade in Connor Williams and then send Brandon Knight out the door and bring him back to the practice squad if you want. You know,
I
what's your thought on these offensive linemen, Mike?
Yeah, I would get rid of Brendan Knight, and I would get rid of Ty Nasaki, and I would call up the great Isaac Joe. We need some Isaac. I like the guy. He's not a bad player. I think he gets that practice squad in and he gets developed. I think year 3 for Isaac, I would be shocked if he's not on this football team. But I think they got Ty Nasaki all wrong. Brandon Knight, they could trade him. But if you're going to get – I'd rather keep Brandon Knight and trade Terrence Steele. I think there's just more value from the tape. He has a little bit more resume, playing consistent last year, right? And then winning conditional player of the year. So he has a little bit more in his resume, right? Get Terrence Steele out of here. Keep Brandon Knight, but we got to do something with Ty Nasaki. I don't like that. Josh Ball, they're just keeping him because where they drafted him. He was hurt all year. And then Matt Farniak, congrats to this dude, 7th round pick, making this team. Played really well. Center. He played some center, didn't he?
Yeah, he got pretty good snaps there, and especially that final game, he was stoning
Center,
people.
guard.
Very impressive.
Congrats to Farniak, man. That's what I like to see. 7th round players making the roster and looking good on tape.
Yeah, and as it stands right now, the entire 2021 draft class made the roster in some sort of capacity, whether it was going IR or actually making the 53. And even if they get cut, they're looking to bring some of these guys back to practice squad. So 2021 draft class is looking pretty good. Yeah, I Brandon Knight for me and Seki just basically we're in big ass trouble if if Tyron Smith or Lyle Collins go out for any amount of time. We are screwed there. It will affect the passing game, the rhythm, the timing. Ezekiel Elliott getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Like, I just hope to God these guys hold up. Isaac Aldarcon, he's a very good international player. I really like how he developed from year 1 to year 2. He is exempt, so he doesn't count here as far as like is he cut or whatever. So he is here. They continue to develop him. I like his prospects for next year if he continues to take the coaching well as he's done, and I believe he will. I just feel that he has that sense of urgency to improve. You know what I mean?
It's in his blood. He's La Raza.
Yeah, it's in his blood. He doesn't want to disappoint. So I like him at guard, and I think he'll be a legitimate depth guy for us because I'm looking for the Cowboys to move on from Connor Williams unless they franchise tag or give him a new deal. Hopefully not. Move in McGovern for the future. Change up a little bit of the depth here. Maybe Isaac is a part of that. So good there. But yeah, you mentioned Matt Farniak. I love that one. I've been pulling for him a long time, and he looks very promising. Definitely
Yes.
the guy that you want to handle the backup instead of Connor Williams. Connor Williams did horrible. He's not the backup solution.
And we talked about backup center, backup guard, and we talked about possibly Joe Looney coming back to the team or whatever. Matt Farniak, and shout out to Alex K. He watched the show last week. That's why he put that in the comment section. But no, I feel a lot comfortable, even as a 7th round rookie. With Joe Looney gone, backup center guard, Matt Farniak, I have a lot of confidence in that.
Nick Rawson cutting the kept the Walking Dead. Still in the second. Yeah, this is some funny comments in here, guys. Keep them coming. I'll highlight some of these as I can as we go through. Let's get to the next group here. Mike, the defensive line here, the cuts. There's a bit of a surprise here for me, but we'll get into that. D-Law, Gregory Dorrance made obviously Basham a nigh. There was rumors that he might be traded. We'll see if that's still a thing. Chauncey Golston, Mike, didn't see a lick from him. He supposedly hurt his hamstring in the conditioning drill, so nothing from him. Nothing in training camp, nothing in the preseason, but then it comes word that he passed his physical. He's on the 53. It's kind of goofy, but it is what it is. Azur Kamara, Mike. He made it. Gallimore, Osa, Digazul, Urban, and Bohanna the Behemoth. He made it, bro. He made it. All right. Now, where there might be some changes here, Mike Gallimore, like Helmut says, he'll go to IR, so you'll probably need to trade in a player there. Same for Carlos Watkins, but that's COVID-19 protocol. So you got two moves you got to make there, right?
Yeah,
Who could those moves be? Who you trading in? Who's going out? If you need two spots.
I mean, Francis Bernard could go out on the linebacker spot, but that kind of thins you there with only six. You need some special teams there, but no, I'm shocked Hamilton didn't make the team. I really am. Big 99 out there. I really thought he was going to make this team, but Joe's highlighting it right here. Put him on IR. Hamilton can come back. Kamara right here. I think the team just loves him. I think this is a pet cat here. Big time story. If you watch Hard Knocks, you'll understand the story behind him. Smaller guy, he reminds me like a young Randy Gregory, real small guy. What he's going to look like when he gets to Randy Gregory's weight, right? So there's some promise there with Kamara, but I don't know. I'm bummed about Hamilton, but I'm happy for Kamara.
Yeah, I think you nailed on the head there. I think Gallimore, go to short-term IR. I think Hamilton might have a role here. So let's see if he passes through waivers. You probably bring him back. Azur Kamara, yeah, it's a good feel good story for sure. And I agree with your assessment. I think he's that type of build. He's kind of one of those tweener types, like they say. He's an edge guy, not big like a DeMarcus Lawrence, but physically more of a type of like a Randy Gregory type, like a tweener type. But yeah, I think if he packs on some more muscle and just gets his feet under him, he could be somebody that you might have in this.
Because he has that band that Randy Gregory has. It's there. It's untapped potential. And if you can hack that untapped potential and get that out of him, he's going to be a star in the NFL.
Yeah. Just got to get in that weight room. He got a little bit manhandled a couple times on the ground. You definitely don't want to see that, but it's good. So that's where we're at on that group there. Bradley and I will keep an eye on that if they keep him or does he get traded. I hope they don't trade him. I like what Anai did for us. Linebacker Mike. This is a bit interesting too. So LVE, Count O'Neill, Parsons, Jalen Smith, Jabril Cox, Luke Gifford, and Francis Bernard. Okay. So Francis Bernard, we haven't seen him at all. All right, so Bernard will likely revert to IR. So that makes sense there. So that would, open up a spot possibly somewhere else, Mike. I just don't see them carrying. I guess they could keep Gifford and go 6 deep at linebacker. What's your thoughts on linebacker here, Mike?
Yeah, I forgot about Francis Bernard's hamstring. I was talking about getting rid of him and bringing another defensive line back. But, guys, I made a prediction, and I was wrong, obviously, because Jalen Smith's still on the team, that they're going to look for a trade partner. I still think that's a thing, but it has to be the right team, right? They has to take on salary. It has to be the right compensation. There's still things that get involved in it, but I wouldn't be surprised Jalen Smith is still traded. Really wouldn't be surprised. I think it's happening. Maybe it's in the works, but we can't see it. No one's talking about it back there. But I don't know. I like the linebacker spot, but I don't think Jalen Smith is all that straight just yet.
Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think I think it'll be next year when they do any kind of movement. This is Jerry Jones's guy there. Jerry Jones still carries the big stick there. As much as a lot of fans are ready to move on from Jalen, I just think that Jerry Jones, will pull his weight there on that one there. You know what I mean? So defensive back, Mike, interesting group here. AB, Trayvon Diggs, Jordan Lewis, Kelvin Joseph, Nashawn Wright, Kennedy makes it. CJ Goodwin, the special teams ace. And then we look at our safeties. This is an interesting group. Wilson, Curse, Hooker, and Mukwamu makes it, Mike. So interesting list here. Now, before we break down the players, Kelvin Joseph is another one of these guys that will probably go to short-term IR, 3 to 6 weeks. So that'll open up something possibly for somebody else around, another DB, or maybe they go on another somewhere else, right, Mike? So, what's your take on some of these people that made it and who didn't?
Yeah. Shout out to 1980 in the house, real quick. 1980.
Shout out 1980 in the house, baby. Here we go.
Yeah.
Big fan of 1980. Love the guy. Love the guy. Hit him up. Follow him. Good guy there.
If you haven't already, no, I'm not. I don't know what this whole thing with J. Ron Curse is. This big, flirtatious Cowboy Nation, arms wide open. The ship can't sink, but it's gonna sink. Like Curse, I just don't. He's not a special teamer. I mean, he's not. When people are flipping out when he put sick or so sad or this sucks, whatever you put on Twitter, right? He's a typical bridge player, right? He's the tape to the broken broom. People need to calm down, right? But so far I like what I see. Malik Hooker, they need to see what they got in him. He's on a 1-year deal. So is Curse. So is KZ. They got a lot of 1-year deals here that they're keeping on this roster, risking younger talent to go elsewhere, right? You got to figure out a way to play all three and see what you got, because it's a 1-year investment. You got to go safety next year in the draft.
Amen. Amen, bro. And we're going to break that down here in an upcoming show, taking a look at our early draft board. We're going to break out the spreadsheet and introduce you to some players here very soon. So, April Showers in the house. Appreciate you. I'm happy with the DB group. I agree, April. For me, I like what we have. The defensive side of the ball is churning. It's churning big time. If you look back to pre-McCarthy, there's a lot of new names here all over the place. The D line, corners, safety. So I like it. I like it indeed. It's a young group, obviously, but Kennedy, I think, stood out. Nashawn Wright has still some work to do. So does Kelvin Joseph. I think both these guys still have a lot to do.
Nashawn Wright, though, I love the fight in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dog mentality right there. Makwamu, same thing. I love the dog in him.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. So Makwamu, I thought he was going to be one of the borderline guys. If he made it, I would be glad, and he did make it, man. And I think that final game, really did showcase his athletic ability, Mike. Obviously, he made some boneheaded penalties, but as far as making plays on the ball, you know what I mean. So very good. I like that. I like that indeed.
Yeah, same thing with Nashawn Wright, man. Both those guys, I think, if the coaching staff can stay intact for the next couple of years and develop these guys and fix some of their traits of their weaknesses, I really think we got some future there.
Oh yeah, I agree. Malik Hooker makes the team there. We'll see if he can stay healthy. He looks physically good to go. He's a specimen. All right, so let's hope he can stay healthy. Looking at the special teams guy, this is a bit interesting too. So Zerline makes it. Brian Anger. There was rumors that maybe Johnny Hecker would be cut from the Rams. He did get an extension, so that is over. It will be Brian Anger. All right. Now, the long snapper who replaced the long-time,
LP Ladouceur.
LP Ladouceur, he got released, but saying this is a ceremonial thing.
Yeah.
Once the waivers go through, he'll be back as the long snapper. So good to have a long snapper. You definitely need one on the team. So that'll be another change that has to occur. So guys, a lot of churning still to go. Like we said, there's a couple of changes here at safety. Kelvin Joseph, short-term IR most likely. So you'll get some movement there. Bernard, you'll get movement there. Gallimore, right? I wonder if Basham will go into that as well. I don't think Hellman mentioned that. I
he
think
was working. He was working on the. I think Skywalker Steele put up on his Twitter page that Basham was working the ropes. So you're working the ropes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so
I saw that. That's right.
He's coming back.
I really like this one here, Mike. We got our double cheeseburger deluxe here with Quinton
Baconator, baby. Woo! Hold the pickles.
I love that he made it, dude, and I see a lot of potential. We've talked about it before. He looks like somebody that might be, one of these guys is going to make a big impact here as far as stuffing the run and actually bringing pressure. You know what I mean? Like collapsing the pocket. He's got a nice swim move where by the time you know it, he's in the backfield. So I like Bohanna. I think as a rookie, I think the ceiling is high for Bohanna.
I didn't like the fact that the Texans were running, getting 5 yards of carry and stuff like that. And then that game, we had starters in that game. So I'm hoping they can get all that fixed, get things together. Tank Lawrence will obviously make a big difference. I really think he's the best run defender in football right now. But I really hope they can – I hope that wasn't a sign to come, then that's still a problem. I hope they can get that fixed.
Yeah.
Just talking out loud, we're talking about DTs.
Oh yeah. We'll get tested. We'll get tested for sure in that first game with Tampa Bay. So
playoff Lenny.
Yeah, so a lot of interesting moves here to go still, but pretty good. 53-man roster. We'll see what it looks like here on Wednesday when you have a little bit more of this is going to be settled as far as like who's in, who's off, who's on the practice squad. Is there anybody, Mike, that you're looking forward to making the practice squad?
Yeah, Rachel said it best right here. We got 71 viewers and 33 likes, guys. Let's get that up here in the house, guys. Just give me 5 more likes. Just give me 5 more likes, fellas. That's all you got to do. Thanks, April, for doing that for me. I've been slacking on this gym. I'll tell you what, I got to plug this thing in.
Shout out to April. Appreciate you, April, very much. Always on the game.
CowboysBlog.net.
No more Darian Thompson. Yeah, so this is like a cockroach that you just can't get rid of him. So does Darian Thompson make the practice squad, Mike?
I think so. Former second-round pick from the Giants. People hate him. I don't hate the guy. I just think he's been dealt a bad hand in the NFL. And he's made some boneheaded mistakes too. Yeah. But I think you stash him on the practice squad because you do got some. You don't want to ruin all your bridges. You don't want to burn all your bridges and lose everybody because push comes to shove. We got our backfield besides Donovan Wilson and McQuamu. If you go back to that list, they've all were hurt last year. So we got to make sure we cherish Darian Thompson just a little bit because that backfield. Maurice Kennedy was an opt-out. C.J. Goodwin, he's older, right? He's been hurt. Curse, hurt last year. Hooker, hurt last year. KZ, hurt last year, right? Darian Thompson, he might have to be that savior at the end of the season. Because it's 17 games. It's not 16. There's an extra game out there, right? That these players are risking their bodies. God willing, they don't get hurt. But Darian Thompson – I might be long-winded here, but is that insurance that we might need on the back end of the season, Joe?
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good point there. Joel Resser with the super chat. Appreciate you, Joel. It's go time, fellas. Great work as always. Yes, it is. It is go time. I appreciate that, Joel. Appreciate that shout out and the super chat. Man, it is go time, Mike. Like we're getting closer. We're already on the final stretch now. You know what I mean? Like they're full Tampa Bay mode now, and just putting the final, tying the bow on the roster here over the next 24 hours, Mike. So, go time. Appreciate you, Joel.
It's go time. It's go time, Joe, and it's football. I love August. Take the kids to school. You walk out, you smell mildew on the grass. Ain't nothing like that smell because that's football.
Indeed. That's what it is. Appreciate that, Joel. Appreciate you, bro. Let's see what I mean. Let's see what else we got in here, guys. Mystic Mike Gamer, if like contents, like it to start with. Go Cowboys defense. Yeah, I think the defense will be better, right? And I want fans to want this defense to be top flight. You know what I mean? I always see some fans saying, all we have to do is be average. I'm not – I don't want to be average. Like, I want to be top flight. You know what I mean? And I think the Cowboys are doing the right moves to head in that direction. So,
and I'm asking Cowboy Nation right here in our comment section, Joe. Guys, put in the comment section yay or nay if you will use your fantasy draft pick to pick the Cowboys defense. We're going to see how much faith they have in this Cowboys defense. Yay or nay, will you pick the Cowboys defense, or have you already picked the Cowboys defense for your fantasy lineup?
That's a very good question. Yay or nay? Would you draft the Cowboys defense in fantasy football? That's a great question, Mike. Would you do it, Mike? Let's ask you.
I didn't. I picked the Ravens defense.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it'd probably be it might be somebody that I would draft at the very end, maybe as a number two defense. I gotta see it. We all gotta see it, right? Like preseason, I have to say the preseason the defense did their thing. They did do a lot of good considering. So we'll see. Yay or nay? Are you drafting the Cowboys defense in fantasy football? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat box. Are you down with?
It's okay to say no. Well, I didn't do it. It's okay to say no. I'm not the one to draft all your slots being Cowboy players. I think the only Cowboy player I drafted this year was Ezekiel Elliott. That was it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good take there. So yeah, man. So that's who we're at on the 53-man roster. Very interesting moves. A lot of I think we did a relatively good job. Kind of projecting who here and there, Mike, over the last couple of days in the last show. You know, will Sprinkle come back? Will Roston come back? We'll see. We'll see what other moves are coming. So it's a fun time to be a Cowboys fan. You know what I mean? It's a new season. Mike McCarthy got his guys on the field for training camp. I think you build that camaraderie. I think that's a big piece of any combat sport. You know what I mean? So do like that very much. Soup Trap in the house with a $20 super chat. Cowboys need to believe they can stomp the Bucks, not just pull out a win. Great show, fellas. Yes. Yeah, right. Like, yeah, you want to go into these games thinking, hey, let's put it to them. Let's put the screws to these guys, right, Mike? It's been so many seasons where we've gone into the game where you're like, I don't know if we can do it. You know what I mean? So I think it starts week one. If the defense looks better, I do feel a lot better for the rest of the season, Mike, especially going up against the super champs here with Brady and all the weapons that they have. What's your thought, Mike?
Soup Trap, thank you, by the way. Big Twitter guy, too. I appreciate Soup Trap support on and off YouTube here.
Mm-hmm.
But it brings me back to 2012, Joe, and the year 2012. Jason Witten had a lacerated spleen in a preseason game against the Oakland Raiders, okay? And there was talk about he might miss that game. We're playing the reigning Super Bowl champs of 2012, the New York Football Giants. Jason Witten came back, kind of lit up a spark on the team, and we beat the Super Bowl champs. Week 2, we went to go play in Seattle, Joe, and it's the infamous Shango rant. All cocky, right? We got all cocky, and we took a big crap against Seattle. If we beat the Super Bowl champs, we cannot repeat the history almost 10 years ago. They got to beat these Super Bowl champs, and they got to go take care of the Chargers, because if they beat the Super Bowl champs and they lose to the Chargers, Joe, we won't be able to know what we are till week 3. You beat the Super Bowl champs, you beat the Chargers, you gain some success. Okay, now we know what we can be. They have to believe they can stomp the Bucks. They have to stomp the Bucks, and they have to go beat those Chargers, Joe.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to win one and keep winning. We can't go through the process of win one, lose. I am done with that crap. Like, if they start doing that again, nah, it won't be the year. You're absolutely right. April Showers in the house. Appreciate her. A beer for a like.
Bud Light on draft.
I love that. Give a like for Mike. April Showers. Thanks for the show, Joe and Mike the Guru. Appreciate you, the Guru.
Well, you guys.
The Guru had a good comment here. I wanted to highlight it because it's a good one here. Here we go. Here we go. Sorry, these keep speeding through.
That's good.
One there. The Guru. Thank you very much. No, he mentioned here. I'm trying. Like, the chat just keeps on going through. Here we go. Best chance versus Bucks is to win in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Absolutely, right? It's all in the trenches. Is Collins healthy enough? Right, so that is a huge storyline going into this game because we talk about the stinger, right? He's had 2 times where he had to get out of a practice. He's gonna have a long, couple of days here to rest up, right? So let's hope that Collins will be ready for the game. If he's not, like I said, it will be affected. The offense will be affected if you have Steele in there or in Seki. That's just what it is, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Got to have a healthy Collins. Got to finish the game. Got to.
You have to. Well, with Tom Brady, Tom Brady knows what defense you're running even before you snap your defensive huddle, right? So you have to figure out a way to disguise that defense for Tom Brady. You have to pressure him. You have to get in his face. It's going to be hard. I mean, we're talking Tom Brady here. He's one of the best, seven-ring champion, right? So you just got to get him. You got to tackle him. You got to hurt him, and not hurt him, on purpose, but you got to make him feel your pain, Joe. But it's going to be tough. It don't matter who's out there. You have to trick the GOAT, Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. Donnell Jenkins in the house. Appreciate you, Donnell. I was at the enemy's YouTube live stream. No one is taking our defense seriously. I love being under the radar. Yeah, I wouldn't expect any of our rivals to take the defense, serious because you got to show it, right? They're going to test the run defense. Did these guys fix the run defense? Let's go. Let's run on them. Let's see if we can do it. If not, and they keep running, they'll keep running. You know what I mean? Like we will be tested. So, if I'm a rival, I wouldn't either because, did they do enough? You're going to have to show me that you can stop our running game. So I want the defense to do that. I want Bohanna in the backfield. I want Osa Odigizua smashing people left and right. And that's what I want to see, Donnell. I want to see this defense step up, man, and show, hey, you're not running on the Cowboys anymore, baby. We're here. It's going to be a long game. So let's go. You know what I mean? That's what I want this defense to be about, man. I want it to be a long day for the offenses that we face. Yeah.
No, he's spot on with that point because, as everybody knows who's been watching me for a long time, my brother is a Giants fan. And we talk about football this time of year. We never talk about football till it gets close, right? Because if not, we'll fist fight in the summertime every day. So we don't talk about it till football gets close. And he is underestimating our defense, and I love it because he's like, he calls him Danny Dimes, and it's so stupid that he believes in Daniel Jones, but he does. And so I don't know. I love that they are. And Liberty's my wife's uncle, Liberty, she is an Eagles fan. He's underestimating our defense too. So, and I got a buddy that's a Redskins fan. He's underestimating. I got NFC East all in the family. So they're definitely doing that. Don't got to go to enemies YouTube page. I got enemies around me.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Mike has an enemy on every corner. Sometimes I fear that something will happen to him on the streets. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, guys. So great show, man. I think we'll cut it off there. A great discussion here, talking about the 53-man roster, and we'll see where we're at. We got September 9th, right? September 9th, Cowboys kickoff versus
9 days.
Bucks. That's a Thursday night football to open up the year. I can't wait to hear that music. Sunday night football. I can't wait. I'm gonna be pumped, bro. Like I cannot wait.
It's exciting. 9 days. 9 days away. One more Frisco report show until the season opener. So we got some juicy for you guys next week. But April showers. You're absolutely right. Mike disowns those people. I absolutely do. I tell you, me and my brother, man. When we sit by each other during Cowboys and Giants, I mean, we are literally this close to fighting every time. Family first is what stops us from fist fighting. If he wasn't family, would be in a fight. So, but no, it's good. I can't wait. Football's back. It's good to get some nachos, some wings, some pizza, Joe, some soda pops.
Oh yeah,
into our system. It's that time. Fingernails. No more fingernails, so don't tie your strings too tight.
You already know it. All right, guys. So appreciate you guys tuning in tonight for a live Frisco report. If you catch it on the replay, hit that like button. April, appreciate you in the chat box as usual. Appreciate you rolling through and everybody that joined us live. Appreciate everybody, all my members and subscribers. Mike, let everybody know where they can find you if they haven't already.
Yeah, Cowboys Corner right here on YouTube. Seasons, come get some rants. You might get some spit on you because when I start, but but no, and underscore Cowboys Corner on Twitter, guys. So make sure you follow me there. I'm pretty active on Twitter. I make a lot of ruckus, make a lot of noise, piss a lot of people off. But hey, it's Cowboys Corner.
Well, there it is, guys. Make sure you guys hit us up next week for another show, Frisco Report. By then we'll know who the practice squad is, and we'll do a preview of Thursday night's game. So great show coming up. We'll see you for the next one, guys. Have a great one. Great rest of the weekend. We'll see you. Peace, everybody.